Hi, this is Reverend Tim at Unity in Marin. Welcome to Unity Way of Life. The reason it's called that is that this is a way of life. It's a practical philosophy for living. Unity teaches principles that aren't just for Sunday. It teaches principles that are practical in our everyday living. The 5 basic principles which we've studied are there's only one power and one presence, active as my life and as the universe, God the good, omnipotence. That's the first principle, and that is an eminently practical principle because as I go around in life and go through this whole COVID-19 response thing, when I recognize that there's only one power and one presence, and it's not COVID-19, and it's not the news media, and it's not my own fears, and it's not what other people are saying, but it is God. One power and one presence. When I'm centered in that and focused in that, then I notice that my fears and anxieties are alleviated. I notice that I can live my life in a way that is much more spontaneous and loving rather than induced by fear. So these are very practical principles. In the early days, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, the co-founders of the Unity movement, wanted the Unity movement to be an educational system whereby people could come from other churches or faith traditions, come and learn and deepen their own prayer consciousness, and then go from there back to their own churches, their own centers. But as it turned out, it developed into its own kind of denomination almost, although we're very non-denominational in feel, but it turned into its own movement. But it's always carried with it that very eclectic feel that we do not believe that we are the only ones with truth. We believe that our understanding of truth is always evolving, and we recognize with respect all other churches and traditions. So Unity is a very open-ended approach to spirituality. And early on, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore saw it as something eminently practical. Practical in terms of their prayer lives. Practical in terms of experiencing healing. Practical in terms of bringing peace to people's lives and in how they interact with each other. Practical in terms of really helping us to connect with God, with the divine. And that is part of what drew me to Unity at the very beginning, was how practical it is, how pragmatic. It isn't asking us to believe something that is just so far out that it's hard to bend our minds around. It's very practical. And in that approach, Unity asks of us to take that which works for you, and the rest you can suspend judgment on. So, those of you who may be considering becoming members of this church, Unity in Marin, and you can do that virtually. You can watch the other 3 sessions. You can become a member here, even if, there's a professor from Taiwan who told me he would like to become a member. You can become a member. You can be in Nigeria. You can be in France. Wherever, you can be a member. And we changed our bylaws to make for that provision. But we bring with us different faith traditions and experiences. People come from the Mormon tradition, from Judaism, from Hinduism, from Buddhism, agnostics, atheists, Christians. I mean, we are an eclectic blend of people who believe in practical spirituality, who believe in practical solutions for life. And so I want you, if you are considering membership at Unity in Marin, I want you to know that you don't have to give up your belief system to become a member here. some people have asked me, why would I become a member? Why would I be, well, and it's a very personal thing, but for me, in becoming a member of Unity, it was because I wanted to align myself with a spiritual community that taught beliefs, teachings, tools, principles that I could easily use. I wanted to align myself with a community that was loving, accepting, and helped to bring peace to this planet. I wanted to make a statement of commitment that this is a group of people with whom I identify and resonate with, and I want to mutually support the church, the congregation, as it supports me. Also, in becoming a member, one is then allowed to vote in meetings. And even if, okay, for example, in August, we have an annual meeting that is to happen. It is our annual meeting to elect board members, and this year we'll be looking at some revision of our bylaws. So even if, and I hope we're meeting in person by then, but even if we're not, it is possible we could have the annual meeting online. Our bylaws are now provide that. We can vote online. So being a member gives you the power to vote. Prayer chaplains are all members. Members of our Board of Trustees are all members. It's a sign of commitment, but it's totally personal. You can be involved here, as you know, in many, many ways without being a member. You can be involved in a lot of different classes and things that we do here. We have some people who teach classes or do other things that don't require you to be a member. But membership is a commitment and a sign of aligning with our principles and your own resonance with this particular community. So those of you who are watching this from the standpoint of possibly becoming members, we would love to have you become members. If you're watching this to learn more about Unity or as a way to deepen spiritually, we welcome you. We welcome you to any of our services and to any of the classes that we offer. And we'll be offering online classes. In fact, we already have some online classes. This one, Janice Campbell's Receive Your Life. On Friday night and all day yesterday, we had a workshop that was virtual. I mean, there's a lot of virtual opportunities here. One of the things you may notice about Unity is that it is an educational movement. Charles Fillmore, one of the co-founders of the Unity movement, considered Unity to be the great educational movement of Jesus Christ. That's what he called it. And when the Unity movement was incorporated, it was incorporated as an educational institution, not as a church even. It was incorporated as an educational institution, and that is still the case. So education is an important aspect of what we do here, and there's many ways to be involved on the educational level. Now, we've gone over some of the principles and teachings of Unity. We've touched on the 12 powers, the 5 principles. We have touched on mind, idea, expression. Reverend Medora taught about that. There's a lot more principles and teachings about Unity, but these classes are designed to help you to get a good overview and grasp of the basic Unity teachings and what we're about, and about our history. And today I'm focusing more on how you can be involved at this local Unity church or at a local Unity Church wherever it is you may live, or you can be involved online. We are now a virtual church. So we have volunteers who assist with gardening. We have a meditation garden out back. And we're so grateful to John, who has been taking care of that, and other volunteers. We have volunteers who do the flowers for the Sunday service. We have volunteers who assist with hospitality, who put together the food and hospitality that occurs in our courtyard when we're meeting in person. We have volunteers who assist as ushers and greeters who welcome people and who assist us with the offering. We have volunteers, the prayer chaplains are volunteers who have taken training to know how to hold sacred space with others. Our board of trustees are volunteers. We have an excellent group of board of trustees. They're a wonderful group to work with. Our board of trustees meet at least once a month. At least for our board meeting, we often have a second meeting in the month, which is called the board huddle, where we catch up on things between board meetings, because there's a lot of business aspects to this ministry. And the board is working every day by email. Several projects we're working on. The Montessori school. We have a school here that is under the umbrella of the church. It is part of the church, and yet it operates in an independent way as a Montessori school. So, times like this where the school is closed, but they're doing it online. So they've become a virtual school. Yes, with preschoolers. They are sending virtually resources for parents and kids to have learning activities together. So our Montessori school is now virtual. But obviously during this time, there can be sometimes some financial questions or challenges. So regarding the church or with the school, we look at those finances, and the board assists us with strategy and oversight and governance. The primary purpose of the board is not to get involved in all the operations and details of the church, but to help to provide the vision, the oversight, the governance, the policies and procedures, for the entire ministry. And our board does an excellent job. So when a person has been a member here for a year, they can be eligible to become a board member. And there's lots of ways to be involved here. The choir. We have an amazing choir led by an amazing director, Cindy Acker, Dr. Cindy Acker. And Cindy, that choir has been growing. Now, obviously, we're not meeting physically at this time, but the choir is still practicing virtually on Zoom. And Cindy wants the momentum to continue. The choir has been growing. It's become larger than before, like 25 or 28 people, and has continued to grow. So if music is something you're interested in, there's ways to be involved with the music program here. There are many ways in which to be involved. We have office angels. And again, this is a different time because very few of us come on campus, and we come on campus at very few times. But our office manager, Dory, when we're open for everybody to come in, there are office angels who assist us in the office as volunteers that help us in the office. There are lots of ways. I haven't covered everything, but I just want you to know that one of the best ways to be to grow spiritually and to be involved here is to become a volunteer. And it's a great way to get to know people as well as in classes. And right now we're live streaming classes. So on those classes, there are Zoom classes. You can see the other participants and get connected with them. It's important for us all to find ways to serve. Those of you who love stream from somewhere and can't be here physically, you can serve and play a part by the way you interact with your world, doing volunteer service where you live, and setting up some connection with us so that we know that we are extended all over the world, touching people's lives in lots of volunteer efforts and in other ways. So we want to thank you for your interest in this church. This church, this particular building, used to be a interfaith chapel. This was all a military base. This was Hamilton Base, and this was the military chapel. At some time, at some point in the week, it would be a synagogue. At another point in the week, it would be a place for the Catholic Mass. And another point in the week, it would be a place for Protestant Christians to worship. This was an interfaith chapel, and it's a beautiful place. Unity and Marin had met at different locations. It was what was called a church in a box. So it would meet, for example, at a Masonic hall, and it would get set up for Sunday service, wonderful Sunday service, and Richard Manti was here at that time, and then it would be taken down. The church was founded by Reverend Candy, and so we acknowledge her and acknowledge the work of Reverend Richard Manti, and after Richard Manti, Reverend Bill Engelhardt came. And then after Reverend Bill, the associate minister here is Reverend Medora Gordon. Reverend Medora Gordon became the acting senior minister for about a year, and a search was being conducted, very in-depth search, and that is how I ended up coming here. So in the, I think about 54 years or so existence of Unity in Marin, there's just been a handful of ministers, which tells you that longevity of ministers is a one key that tells you that this is a very stable, loving community. Now, that's not to say that other communities that have had more turnover of ministers aren't loving and collaborative and so forth. But I'm just saying that's one indication that this is a wonderful place to be. This is a wonderful place to come. There's a high maturity level in this congregation, high emotional and spiritual maturity level. And the people here are very loving, very connected, very non-judgmental. This is a wonderful spiritual community of which to be a part. What I've realized during this time of the COVID-19 response is how different it is to not gather together physically and to have such isolation. And it's shown me more than ever how important it is to have community, to have people with whom to connect and contact. So this is a wonderful spiritual community to be a part of. We do practice giving and tithing here. Once a year, we have a financial campaign called Faith in Action. Sometimes it just goes by its initials, FIA, Faith in Action. It's one way for us to put our faith in action, to be contributing to the spiritual community that helps to feed us. It's like when I watch public television, they say, and made possible by viewers like you. Public television knows that we're all in this, and they receive some federal funds, and they also receive private funds. We don't receive any federal funds. We really depend upon people to invest and give into this spiritual community. We do have events and rentals here when the campus is open, and that assists our finances. But in large part, we depend upon you and all of us to give, and that includes me. I love giving, and I give every week to the church. So there's ways to do that. We talked about it in the services this morning. You can give online, and it's very, very easy to do. I wonder, Connect, let me put on my glasses, if maybe we can show that video again. Can we show that video that Alex put together? And it's a real simple way to know how to donate online, or you can send money in. It's not that we're all about money, but it's just that money, Eric Butterworth, a very famous Unity teacher, writer, speaker, stated that money is God in action. That's an interesting statement, that money is an expression of God's abundance, and so we recirculate it and give it in those areas that are blessing us and touching our lives. And so we encourage that. I know that all of us grow by giving service, giving of our abundance, giving of those gifts that we have in our lives, those skills, those talents that we have, giving those in service to others. We grow spiritually through that. And in the same way, giving financially is a way of growing. So Connect, do we have that ready? Not yet. Okay. So I encourage you to give by time, talent, and treasure. Your time, the ways in which you invest in volunteering at the church or in the community, giving spiritual service to others, your time, your talent, using your skills, your talents to bless other people's lives, whether it's music, financial knowledge, whatever it may be, treasure. So sharing of your abundance. Even when I was living in low-income housing, I would continue to give because it was important to me to know that I could give. As long as I could give, that meant I had something. So we really encourage that and believe in that whole practice of reciprocity that Jesus taught, that in the measure we give, so we receive. And as we receive, so we give. It is a cycle. It's a cyclical arrangement by which we give and share in the ministry of the church. And we may have that video in a little bit, and if we don't, that's okay. Is it up, Connect? Okay, so Connect is going to be putting that up on the screen, and if you don't know for sure how to give online, you can go to our website, and Alex, our marketing director, created a short 2-minute video to describe how to give. Is that ready, Connect? Okay. Okay, so we're just waiting for the screen. We had turned that off. I told Connect that there wasn't any PowerPoint, and then I threw him a curveball. I do that once in a while. Fortunately, Connect is a very cheerful person. So, all right. Are we ready, Connect? Okay, so let's watch this video.
We made it really easy for you to make a donation online. Please go to unityandmarine.org. Online. Please go to unityandmarine.org and then click on donate button over here or over here. It will take you to the same page. Once you're there, click on donate now and select options. You can select the amount over here. You can choose a particular offering or service you want to sponsor. You can choose frequency. Do it one time or do it regularly. Select weekly or monthly options. Then the day you want to donate it, starting on a particular day, and then process information. Verify your bank account or do a payment with a credit or debit card. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex, for putting together that video for us. So there's lots of ways to be a part of this church. And one of the most important, I think, is just connecting with people. Now, when people are gathered here physically, it's much easier, at least those who are here in person, to connect. But while we're going through this time, we're also connecting virtually. So on Sundays, and this is Pacific times, but at 10:45 and at 12:30, I have Zoom sessions where people connect. And so I'm connecting with people, and they told me last week and today how much they value it, how much they appreciate it. Being able to connect. Many of them feel quite isolated. And so wherever you are, know that we are one. We are one family, one ohana, as they say in Hawaii. We are in this together. We want to be of service to you. If you are interested in membership, be sure and view all 4 sessions. There's 3 previous sessions, and they're archived on our website, Unity Way of Life. And on some of those, we give homework. And then the homework is to be emailed to me. And my email address is very easy. Rev Tim, that's like Reverend, Rev Tim, REVTIM, Rev Tim at unityinmarin.org. Again, that's Rev Tim at unityinmarin.org. And Marin is spelled M-A-R-I-N. And so you can respond to me by email and send the homework to me, and we can bring you in as members. Also, we have a YouTube channel, Unity and Marin YouTube channel, and we'd like to encourage you to subscribe to that YouTube channel. In the past week, we doubled the number of subscribers, approximately doubled that. So thank you for subscribing to that. And when you go to that YouTube channel and subscribe, there's a little bell on the upper right-hand side. If you would click that, then YouTube will send you automatic notification of when we're live streaming, of when there is something going on live with YouTube, because we want to stay connected with you. We have a Facebook page, Unity and Marin Facebook page, and we would love to have you join us. We have a lot of fresh videos on there. I've been making a lot of videos, and a couple of them are interviews with Reverend Medora, the associate minister. We have services posted on there, other announcements. So we send out e-blasts to people. So if we do not have your email, if you want us to be sending you updates as to things that are going on, please send us your email address so that we can get you on our e-blast list. So through Facebook, through our website, YouTube, our e-blast, lots of ways we're wanting to connect with you and get news out to you about this wonderful spiritual community. The fifth basic unity principle is that we put all of these principles into action. It's about action. It's about doing something. So if these principles aren't practical for you, if they don't help you, then forget them. We believe in using these things in a practical way, a pragmatic way. And we found that many people who, as they are using them, find that these are helpful for them in their lives. So we encourage you to practice these principles. And if you're interested in becoming a member, we invite you to take that step, of becoming a member. And the way you become a member is to watch all 4 of the sessions. Again, they're all archived. And send to me the homework that we have requested and indicate to me your interest in becoming a member and your contact information so that we can establish you as a member. And even if we're still not meeting in person yet, you can become a member virtually. You will be a full member of this church, and you can do it virtually. And you will be able to vote virtually. We will set up procedures by which we can guarantee that the person who is online is indeed the person who has become a member, might be a password or something, so that we can even be able to have virtual voting. Now, Connect, are there any comments or questions that have come in? I hope so too, Patricia. Thank you. And I am planning on us having a fall book study. Those are typically 7 weeks. Some go longer, but it's typically 7 weeks. And many times they meet in people's homes. And so it might be a group of 8 or 10 people that study a book together. And then we connect the Sunday services with that book or with writings from that book. I hope we can do that in person this year. We'll see what it's like in the fall. But one of the groups that had amazing success with our book study this last fall, one of the groups that had great sharing and intimacy and worked on that book together was a virtual book study led by our choir leader, Cindy Acker. And so that shows me that even if we're not able to meet in person, we may still be able to do that book study virtually. But we'll see what the fall holds in store for us. But yeah, thank you, Patricia. That is a great time of coming together. Were there any other questions or comments? Connect. Okay. And if you have questions or comments, you can always address those to me at revtim@unityofmarin.org. I'd be happy to answer your questions. Or you can send them to our Unity of Marin Facebook page. We want to connect with you. We want to have ways that we can connect. I've been connecting with people by way of text messaging, through Facebook, by email, by phone, whatever works for you. We want to connect with you. And even though we're not here much during the week, you can leave a message for us. You can leave a message for Dory. You call the main office number, and then you press 0, and that will go into Dory's mailbox, and she will get us the word. Or if you wish to leave me a message, you call the main office number, which again is area code 475. I messed up. It's been a long day. Sorry. Let me start over. 415-475-5000. And my extension is 117. You can leave me a message. So it's wonderful to be with you. I love the Unity way of life. I love Unity principles. Typically in the Unity movement, we have a convention that occurs once a year in June, and it meets in the Kansas City area. The Kansas Unity's headquarters are in the Kansas City area at Unity Village. Unity Village is its own municipality, its own zip code, has its own mayor and sheriff in the Kansas City metro area. And once a year, we typically have a convention at a convention center. We've been meeting most recently in Overland Park, and then a lot of us will also go for events, special events at Unity Village. This year, I'm on the Board of Trustees for Unity Worldwide Ministries, which is the parent organization that oversees the Unity ministries around the world. This last week, our board met virtually, and after much consideration and prayer, we made a decision as a board to cancel the convention in June. But typically that occurs every year, and it's a great reunion and time to see other Unity people and ministers, people from other Unity churches from around the world. In fact, Unity is an international movement. On the board with Unity Worldwide Ministries, I am the person who is the liaison to our international ministries. I'm currently the interim chair for the International Advisory Council for Unity Worldwide Ministries. And so every other week or so, I've been meeting with leaders from around the world. And it's a great movement. It's a great movement all over the world. So wherever you go in the world, usually somewhere in the area, it might be in another city or something, but there's often Unity ministries. And so we are so grateful for those of you who are love streaming, whether you live far away or live right close here in Marin County or in San Francisco. We are so thankful for your presence. And we know that this spiritual community can be a place of spiritual growth for you, a place of connection, a place of finding community, and a place of prayer. We love you all and we bless you. Connect, are there any other questions or comments that have come in? Okay. Hi, Cindy. Connect is checking. Probably have to check YouTube and Facebook. Okay. We're so grateful that all of you have joined us. We bless you wherever you are. We know with you safety, prosperity, peace, blessing, and health. And Connect, I saw your hand go up. Oh, wow. Thank you. Joshua Ignacio. And who else was it? Okay, Chris, thank you for joining us. Joshua Ignacio is a wonderful sound healer that was here not too long ago. And so we bless you and Israel and Chris Israel and all of you who have joined us online. Thank you. We bless you. We behold the presence of God living itself as you. And we know with you guidance, peace, and protection in your lives. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye for now. Namaste.